Hey people, this is going to be a reading of the Genesis 1, the first day of how it's actually supposed to be read. And we're going to learn where this word, the beginning, really is in here. And we're going to learn about this angel, Ameila. And we're going to learn more about the Shami's art, the red deer shaman. So I've been doing this several years, trying to break down these writings. So I got about 150 movies up, and the majority of them are me trying to teach what I'm learning from these writings. But it's really broken loose since I've got to understand these angels, and I'm gonna put them all in a folder here, and you could go to this one to start, and you can understand how and why I'm reading it like this. And if you want to help fund the cause, you can hit this PayPal link right here, and I appreciate it much. So I'm going to go back over this with the new knowledge that I've learned since yesterday. But this says, in the receipt in Ramiel to the Shamis, what hearts, H-A-R T-S. So everybody needs to download a chart and get you a paper copy and keep this with you every day and break down every word you see with this and see what all hidden information is just in everything around you. So in the receipt, like I said, that was the recipe book that my great grandmother had, was receipts, and it means, hey, you want a apple pie? I'm gonna give you a list. This is the written list. You go collect these things up and I'll bake you a pie. The recipe. You got to have some flour and some sugar and some apples, and it's in the receipt. In the receipt in Ramiel. This is your word for the beginning. It's where your word remedial come from. Remedial. In the first knowledge, R-A, the first knowledge from make life by knowledge. Ramiel, the first knowledge, the first powers, the angel of Ramiel. And this is read to T-A, not A-T. Read it backwards. And the T is the mark, and the A is the power, and the two. To the Shamis, S-H-M-I-S. Final M is a S. It's plural. To the Shamis, what hearts? And so the W-A-T is the connected knowledge seal. What? The written. What? The connected knowledge writings. What? Hearts, arts. That's your word, hearts, where it comes from. H-A-R-T, hearts. Old Germanic English. And it means an adult male deer, especially a red deer over 5 years old. It means the red deer. That's what's going on in all this ancient Shami art. You always see this big red-horned deer. Oh, Santa Claus, the Shami's arts of the red deer. So this next line has got so many meanings. I'd never finish this movie if we talked about all of them. But it says, to arch, to the red deer, to the arts. E-Y, they tattoo. To arch they tattoo. To be connected. The vav is connect, means to. B-E-B, vav again, to. To be two. To be connected. Which, W-chet, W-C-H. Which, shack. All infinite use, infinite, forever. to the arts they tattoo, to be connected, which shack all infinite use. And so they've been doing this forever, and they found one that's 2,500 years old. Siberian princess that had this red deer tattoo. And so they tattoo the cult tattoos so they can see the mark of which house they belong to, the house of the red deer. See the hoof here. They belong to the clan of the red deer. They're hidden underneath the... They all had these red deer tattoos. And they thrived in places look like this. But hidden in the meaning, it says whereas 8, 2. 2 is in to create, to be connected, to husk all in place. And so 82 is Saturn. 82 is lead. The PB is ancient symbol for lead. And it's they somehow, way back then, they were able to count the atomic number of lead. So in the Greek numbering system, PB was 82. It's where your word plumbing come from, the lead. And also in the ancient Hebrew, or the worldwide Phoenician, P is 80. And B is 2, 82. So it's talking about all the arts, astrology, chemistry, medicine, magic. And it's talking about so many things all in the same words. And that's what blows my mind. And that's what they mean as in God created with the Word. I mean, it's like all life follows this. But in this deer clan here, where the hearts, where the red deer, they tattoo, to be connected, which shack, all in place twos. The 2, T-E-W, is to shape or to work. All in place twos. One shack, they all in place to use. Where to Camiel from Repetal. It's a where to, W-R, where to, and H, chem, C-H, M-E-L, Camiel. This is Camiel, also spelled Camiel, Camiel. Camiel is heat, rage. Where which the heat from Repetal in place, the emise. So you get cold, you shiver, and you Repetal in place, you run in place, you move to warm up. Emise, E-M-I-S. So demise is to die. And so the mise would be kind of the opposite, to live. Emise is the word used in setting up a stage. In the issue of the writ. When you're setting up a stage for a play or something, would be the mise. A settlement or agreement. The issuing and a proceeding instituted in a writ or a right. But in the deep later, it says where to Camiel, the heat from Repetal, over and over again, heating and cooling, the cycle. In Penium is. And so Penium is the mother of all life. It's a genus of green algae and the sole member of the family. It's where all life on Earth come from. The evolutionary features and molecular innovations that enable plants to first colonize land are not well understood. Here, insights are provided through our report of the genome sequence of the unicellular algae Penium, the mother of all plants on life. And you see that all this ancient clay seals is the red deer clan. So the seal probably evolved here, and it's probably the red deer clan that ate are in the hat now. And in the older ones you can see that this is the red deer clan cultivating. So this is why, and why means a question. It means who or how or why. So this has several meanings, but as to the red deer, it says way more. Way. And so this AMR, it does mean words where your word grammar come from, and clamor, when all talk is clamor. But to the red deer, this is way more mile. Lay, they, row. Way more mile lay. L-A-Y-E-Y, they. Lay, they. Row. And so they're going to shackle this plow on the back of a deer. And way more mile, they'll lay the row. Wage the rower. You can see that's where your word power come from. The wage, the works of the rower. That's where the power comes from, the sun. How Ramiel, the first power of the backbone. Ramiel, the sun, Ra. How Ramiel to row the oar, key both hubs. Ramiel is in the center, keying both hubs, both sides. How bid Lamiel by cycle, B-Y, by, and N is a cycle. By cycle, the hour, and by cycle, each shack. So this how bid, why bid, or to make, in through, Lamiel, BD is in through, the work's in through. And so luckily somebody had once asked that question, who the hell is Lumiel? So Lumiel, Lama, Luma, Lumis, Lumasa, Lumiel, Lamiel, Lamiel are all the same. So Lumiel is the archangel of earth. And so this is another one they're trying to hide, is Archangel Lumiel. You see, from my research, there's very little information about this. Mainly because for hundreds of years, many biblical misinterpretations have ignored, and these apparent incontrovertible facts have never been seriously analyzed. But Lumiel is the angel for protection of soul, body, emotions, and the mind. Protects the soul from separation and disempowerment, the body from ill health, and the mind and emotions from damage and negative vibrations. And so this is going to answer that question right here. We got a line, and this is if you're reading, if you're in Egypt and you're walking down a wall reading and you come up to a dead end, you turn around. This line is going to be read. I'm going to read here, and I'm going to read this backwards, being it starts with an A, and then after I finish this A, I start back this way, and this is when I turn around. So now I'm going to come back this way. It says why or how. Why? Farmiel. And I'm back this way. Ameila. RK2. So Amelia is a word meaning work. And so if you are broke and hungry, somebody might say a meal to you. If you cut my grass, meaning work, a meal. However you get a meal, the work. How farmiel a meal. Farmiel, farm, QRAM. To farmiel a meal. RK2. RK was from archaic. Archaic. And that's the one in the Greek means in the beginning. It's the RK, arch. You'll see it on the Greek and on the first line. But it means very old or old-fashioned. So how farmiel a meal RK means it's ancient knowledge to farm your meal. Old-fashioned, ancient. Read back, and then we have the RK and lower. As in a lower power. In lower juice. This is meant to mean light in Hebrew, not day, but the light of day. In the lower juice will his scuff for Lily. Lily is the moon. Will his scuff for Lily. How they borrow first in. BRO, backwards and forwards. Borrow first in. How they reckon for juice Dow. How they reckon for just Dow. So the lower juice will his scuffer Lily. To scuffer is the object of scorn, mockery, or derision, to scoff. And so they know that the sun is the center of two hubs, to key both hubs. In the first day of the Bible, they knew this. And they know that the light of the moon came from the sun. And they know that why they borrow first in and why they reckon for just Dow. So how they borrow first in means the beginning of the month, you've got nothing, and you borrow a little bit more sun every day. And so how you borrow first in, and this ancient Jewish knowledge is, it's why all the stock keepers are rich, because they know how to read this. And you borrow, this is when you borrow until you're full, and then you have the worth, and then you sell when it's worth more. And so now you're reckoned for. This is when you first pass the sun up. You know, you have a new moon is when the moon's with the sun, you don't see it. Then the first day you see a little bit of moon, just a little bit in the evening you'll see this. And the next day, and after a while, you know, you could see it later in the evening. And then after the full, then you start seeing this moon in the mornings before the sun comes up. And this is the God that's telling you that the sun is coming. It's coming back up. It'll be here. So the moon has a perfect rotation of 660 hours, and that's a a perfect number is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's just divisible by more numbers. And all your best farmers will farm by the moon. And so the wage to reckon for a just Tao has several meanings. It's the letter for Jupiter, but in this meaning, to reckon for a just Tao is a dowry. It means worth, what it's worth for me to marry your sister. Give me a dowry. And to reckon for a just Tao, when the moon is full, it's worth more. And it's time to reckon for a just dowry. All right, I'm going to cut this off here. A good day.